Hey folks, welcome back. There's been another patch that's talking about this kind of same issue that I was discussing the other day. This is patch 1.21g or number 184. So if you remember in the last videos, well, I'll explain for those who haven't watched them. Basically, Vic's been doing a little bit of balancing to the early game techs, and in particular, he made some quite drastic changes to the way that solar energy worked. And just put briefly, he heavily nerfed solar energy basically, and I was really pleased with this because I think this was one of these no-brainer decisions, in Shadow Empire that I don't think really should be in there because it was just so good compared to all the other alternatives. However, Vic's now putting a bunch of other techs, other assets in there at the start of the game that will also help you get energy in, and he's drastically reduced the amount of power the solar energy outputs, and also he gave it a rare metal upkeep as well. Shortly after I recorded that video, in fact the next day, I actually did an Explorminate podcast along with Daz Tactic and Vic, and that's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks. I'm not going to talk about that too much because I don't want to spoil it really, but Vic did talk to us quite a bit about this actually, both before, after and during the podcast, talking about the solar thing, because I was just quite amazed at how quickly he put these changes out. But he made it quite clear this is something that he has been thinking about for a while, and a lot of these changes that he's making are ideas that he's got, and he very much sees this open beta as just that. It is an open beta and it's a test. So this stuff is gonna change a fair bit, right? He's saying, look, don't get too attached to anything I'm doing right now because I'm trying to get everything to work nicely. But it's really encouraging to see that he's kind of going into the core game mechanics like this. And I say core game mechanics, what I mean is he's kind of revisiting areas of the game that aren't necessarily related to the new content he's put in, and he's really kind of giving it a glow up, as people like to say. So in this new patch anyway, he's removed the rare metal upkeep for solar energy, but that was something he added in the previous patch. It seems that was a little unpopular, I think, and that's fair enough. He's also improved the energy output a little bit, because if you see in the previous patch, he actually halved the output of about halved the output of solar. So it went down from 75 to something like 30, and that was actually quite low, I think, which to me makes sense if you're just starting out with solar tech. Oh, by the way, I've been schooled on how good green energy is now. I've had lots of people telling me, no, Bebem, you are wrong. Solar power is actually really good now. I'm like, okay. So been doing a bit of reading up, and yeah, I think my knowledge about solar energy comes from about 2000 or maybe 1999. And it has improved somewhat. I'm still not convinced, but there we go. Anyway, Vic, what he's done is he's now changed solar energy so that it's weak at the start, but then there's a technology that can be researched called solar energy linear tech, or solar energy efficiency linear tech, which is in applied engineering. Applied engineering is this big bunch of applied sciences tier that you get access to, and it's just got kind of everything in it. So it will come when you first sort of jump down into, I think it's like 2 tiers down, I think. Is that right? Yeah, I think it's the 3rd tier. It might be the 2nd, I forget now. But anyway, yeah, this is so solar energy now, kind of realistically, it can improve with improvement in that particular field. So I really like this change. That satisfies me, my kind of like thematic issue that I had with solar, but just being a bit of a no-brainer, way better than everything else. He's fixed that. So now it starts out quite expensive to build. It's 200 rare metals, which makes it a real investment at the start of the game, and you get quite a low energy output. It's looking like he's actually pushed this back up a little bit by 10 to 15%. So I think what he's done is, I'm guessing now we're going to get about 35 energy per turn, which isn't bad. I think it's expensive at the start, but I think this is a really clever way of making this particular asset weak at the start and unattractive at the start, but it will start to come into its own as the game progresses. So as you get bigger solar panel levels, as you start researching the linear techs like solar energy efficiency and then the power bank stuff as well, I think that I think solar could become quite a dominant power source towards the end of the game on certain planet types, because you have to remember it also takes into account the strength of the sun on, you know, the distance from the sun and some other things as well, if I remember right. I don't know if there's any kind of cloud cover mechanic in it. I don't remember if that's true or not, but certainly the amount that you will get from solar will fluctuate depending on the planet type. So certain planets are not going to be very good for solar. Other planets might be really, really super good for solar, meaning that even at the start of the game, you're going to get quite a lot out of it. And, you know, with some linear tech solar energy efficiency researched, you're going to get really good results from solar energy. I love this. This has pleased me. I'm sure it's, you know, the reduction in the rare metal upkeep and stuff, that should have, you know, assuaged some of the fears that other people have that it was nerfed a little bit too hard. Yeah, I like this. This is a really thematic way of kind of rebalancing stuff. So what else is in this new patch? And then I'm going to try not to make this video too long, because so we've removed rare metal upkeep from solar energy, improved solar energy output a tiny bit, so that's 10 to 15% compared to the previous beta. Heavy industry asset no longer initially present for a tech level 5 start. Should be a player choice if he wants to build this, as machinery can be done by workshopping as well, and heavy industry uses a whopping 200 energy. I think that's a good change. I think that word, you know, with the new changes that have come to the way that the game starts, you're going to be getting a bit of an energy deficit there. City level downgrade rules work again. Fix some rare missing road connections for new assets. Traders are looking to buy from other traders at sell price plus buy price divided by 3 instead of sell price plus buy price divided by 2. Okay, this should lead to increased trade between different trade areas. Again, I don't really know. I can't really visualize what that's going to be doing. So yeah, but Vic's giving us a description there. There's a much reduced the effects of a high monetary constant on traders' price when buying from you. Should in some mid-late games result in better prices for selling to traders. Okay, this is all part of the work to rebalance how traders work and make it more interesting and kind of and thematic for people. And then there's a couple of other things. There's a few glitches that he's fixed here, basically. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys. I just thought that was an interesting follow-up, and yeah, kind of also plug in the BATTLEMODE podcast as well. So I'm really, really busy at the moment. I've got a backlog. I've got one other podcast to edit. I'm going to try and get it done this weekend, although I'm really busy with my contract work at the moment as well. But I'm going to try to get some of that done. And then that one we're going up, and that is a really cool interview. It's with an AI modder called Ale or Zilmi. He's a really, really interesting guy. He had loads to say about AI development. It was a really, really interesting podcast, particularly for me because I'm interested in that. And he was able to kind of shine a light on how AI development kind of works, particularly in modding as well, and it was just really cool. So I'm going to try and get that one up as soon as possible, and then as soon as that's done, when I've in between the other stuff I've got to do, I'm going to get the interview with Vic up, and I'm aiming to get that one done for next weekend, but I'm not going to make any promises just because I'm just so busy at the moment. But yeah, anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that, and I will catch you in the next episode of something. It'll probably be Field of Glory Empires or Conquest of Elysium. Okay guys, take care.